Islam. Peace, Hotep. Shalom, all that. Whatever else we do. Canaanland Moors. Once again. October 1st. Freaking October right now. So the quickening is on. Today we'd have to convince the European, right? Paleolith or troglodyte, whatever, right? We'd have to convince them about who we are. They know already, right? It's not a secret to them, and it's of extreme importance right now, right? It's of extreme importance, right? As usual, you always know, Fez is up, but this is the for everybody class today. This is the class where everybody has to take this class and send it around, right? Not the just push the like button, right? This is done where we have to do the viral one, right? We have to do the viral one with this, okay? Because things are going on, and all these other people that we would say are for our community and all that, right? They're not talking about the critical things that's going on. They're trying to get you to come to their lecture, or they're trying to get you to buy their DVD. They're trying to get you to do something with regard to boosting them, right? And not telling you anything, telling you what you already know, right? When there's things happening every single day that conscious people don't even pay attention to, but Moors have their eyes open, right? Because we were taught by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, right? Who everybody needs to get on right now. Everybody needs to get on him right now, right? You'd have to convince the European. It's our own people that we have to convince about the heritage and the legacy of the Moors, right? Remember again that everybody who is out there putting information to our people to get them out of the mental slavery mindset, right? Everybody who does that to assist knows about Noble Drew Ali. And if there's people out there who are taking time to do a lecture and go all across the world and take pictures and bring them back and show our people that we are everywhere on the planet, and they don't mention Noble Drew Ali, one, either they're agent and they work for the same enemy that everybody calls New World Order, Masons, whatever, right? Either they're agent, right, or they're an agent. Because if you're not mentioning Noble Drew Ali, you're selling your people out. Because Noble Drew Ali is the only individual ever since the 1900s to speak to the so-called African, Nubian, Nuban, whatever you call yourself, and tell them that they have a nationality that they have to proclaim in order to be recognized by the nations of the earth. Not just recognized with this guy right here. Recognized by the nations of the earth. So this is what Nuwapi and Moore's newsletter had to say about Noble Drew Ali, right? And don't forget, Malachi York backs this. And when he was in the trial, he was wearing his red fez. He wasn't wearing that black fez with the ankh on it. That's what it is. Don't get mad at Kudro about anything. When Malachi York went to trial, he went to trial with the blazing red fez that Noble Drew Ali brought. He didn't go to the trial with the black fez with the ankh on the front that you see so-called people who don't want to call themselves Moors, but they'll call themselves Nuwapians. He didn't go with that fez. He went the fez that you see Taj wearing and you see Nature wearing. And let me change that too, because what's going on right now? Amir of the Great Seal National Association of Moorish Affairs, Taj Tariq Bey, and Grand Sheikh Noble Nature El Bey, right? Fezzes that they wear, fezzes that you see Dr. Elihu Pleasant Bey wear, fezzes that you see Dr. Jose Pimenta Bey wear. That's the fez that Malachi York took to trial, right? And they buried him. And they're gonna blame Moorish information why he got buried, right? Many of the teachings of the Moorish Science Temple were taken from the Masonic Lodge of which Noble Drew Ali was a member. Noble Drew Ali used their symbols. The star, the crescent, their handshake of unity is the Masonic grip, the red fez of Masonry, and the term adept for his followers. Noble Drew Ali also borrowed the title noble and other customs and symbols from the Shriners, which is a fraternity. The names El and Bey, as well as Noble Drew Ali's uniform, which consists of the sash and the apron of the Shriners, also shows the dress of the Freemason. Right? And then he's talking about this picture right here, so you could just go, you know, you can go. And you tell me where there's an apron on this guy. Right? Because we have to call him a guy right now, because that's how he's dealing with Noble Drew Ali, like a guy. Right? So let's put it in perspective so we could understand how these people, right, these people's leader is talking about the last prophet that came to save all the nations from mental slavery, which they have right now. And it's obvious they have mental slavery right now. We could just look out the window right now and you'll see somebody doing some craziness. So you know mental slavery is going on. Noble Drew Ali paved the way for many other black leaders. So he's saying Noble Drew Ali is a black leader, basically, right? Such as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who was a member of the Moorish Science Temple under the name Paul Robert Poole Bey, before becoming the leader of the Nation of Islam, which was then called Allah Temple of Islam. For more information, read Sheikh Dawood versus W.D. Fard, scroll 165, and postgraduate, The Renewal of the Lessons, scroll 166. Always pumping his stuff, you know. His bibliography is only his books, right? Noble Drew Ali paved the way for his student, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who paved the way for Supreme Grand Master Naya Malachi Zadok York L. That wasn't the name that they had in the records when he went to trial. How come they didn't have Naya Malachi Zadok York L on the record? Just like when I showed you my transcript and it said there, Kudro Adwa L, X relation, Straw. How come they didn't X relation Malachi York, which is a corporation, artificial person, to Naya Malachi Zadok York L? Go back, go check all that stuff. Rewind all those stuff, go get the papers or whatever, all the marching, picketing they were doing to get him out. Right? When you go against the prophet, that's what you get. Right? Now now they're not done, huh? They're not done. So you ask the question, who are the Moors in America? If you were considered Negro, Afro-American, or colored, you can now change your nationality from what you was called all of your life and proudly say, I am a Moor. Not I am a Nuwapian. Not I am from planet Risk. Not I am Makaba and, right? I am a Moor. Hold up your constitution book and let them know you are aware of your rights as Moors. We are Moors in America. We know who we are. Right? Malachi Zadok L. So we go to, once again, right? After telling man he's a Mason and all that, right? Still put it out there the same way, right? This is the Dr. York L. Circle 7, Holy Quran, right? And then the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America that you'll just get when you go to the temple. Okay? So, and remember, it's all about trying to convince our people, because they're not convinced with stuff going on that they can see. So we're gonna use Noble Drew Ali today as the reference point to see where we are right now, and everything's in the news right now. Everything, right? So we start, because the first thing is the Holy Quran Circle 7, right? That's the first thing, because just in the first little intro, right, everything is already given to you. And the question is, are you gonna support it based on its validity, or are you gonna stay on whatever it is that you're on right now at this moment, 7:13, right, and wait to see what happens, right? Know thyself and thy Father God Allah. Don't worry about Allah. Allah only means universal law. All laws of the universe is Allah. So don't get, this is not a Muslim thing or nothing like that. Okay? Right? Don't get it twisted, because you hear more say Islam, that we're Muslims. We are not Muslims. For the record, we're not Muslims. We're Moorish American. The genealogy of Isa, with 18 years of the events, lives, works, and teachings in India, Europe, and Africa. These events occurred before he was 30 years of age. These secret lessons are for all those who love Isa and desire to know about his life, works, and teachings. Dear reader, dear listener, do not falsely use these lessons. They are for good, peace, and happiness for all those that love Isa. Dear mothers, teach these lessons to your little ones that they may learn to love instead of hate. Dear fathers, oh yeah, and this is for all the Noble Drew Ali to stole that from the Aquarian Gospel. Make sure you show me this part that's in the Aquarian Gospel, right? Make sure you show me this part. Because if you plagiarize the book, then you plagiarize everything. So make sure that this part, when you're doing your slide presentation or whatever, right, comparing the Aquarian Gospel to the Circle 7, and Noble Drew Ali stole that from Levi and whatever, right? Remember this part. Dear fathers, by these lessons you can set your house in order, and your children will learn to love instead of to hate. Right? The lessons of this pamphlet, this is for all of the grand sheiks, grand governors, grand moderators, supreme grand sheiks, supreme national grand sheiks, governors, etc. Down the line, treasurers, grand treasurers, assistant treasurer, assistant grand sheik, mufti, whatever. Right? The lessons of this pamphlet are not for sale, but for the sake of humanity, as I am a prophet, and the servant is worthy of his hire. You can receive this pamphlet at expense. So if you want 50, the temples are supposed to create expense to make sure you get your 50 of these pamphlets. If you're somebody who's just online and you just, I want to more Circle 7, you just go online and you find a temple, call them and tell them you want your pamphlet, because it's not for sale. It's your birthright. Because this is, the Circle 7 is, everybody wants to know about where's the mandate and all that. That's why it came back into America by memory, not on a piece of paper. He wasn't going to the Pan American Conference to get a mandate. He was going to present the mandate to prove that he's the legitimate heir to this vast estate that everybody, just like Brother Asir, broke down, right? Every individual that was at that meeting at the Pan American Conference was waiting for Noble Drew Ali to come. They were waiting for him to come. That's why go on Canaanlandmoors.webs.com, go on the Noble Drew Ali literature, Moorish literature, and read the oral statements even, right? Go through the oral statements. Everything's there. Right? That, and it's not even to go read it. No. It's telling you it's there. So you go read it. When you read it for yourself, that, you know, man on the boat says something and everybody stand at attention for the prophet to get off, till the prophet gets off the boat, that means everybody's waiting for him. And people are going to say he was a Mason or whatever. That's not no Masonic thing. Right? That's status. That's status, which ties you to an estate. And once you make your claim, your claim is what it is. There's no other claim that can come and talk about the claim. Again, the lessons of this pamphlet are not for sale, but for the sake of humanity. Humanity, not for the sake of Moors called black, Negro, colored, or whatever. Not for the sake of the black people only. Not for the sake of the Moors only, or the religious Moors, or the active Moors, or the passive Moors. Humanity. So when you hear Moors talk about the European can't have none of this or whatever, if you're going to tell me that European isn't included in humanity now in 2013, I don't care if they come with tails, fur on their face, or whatever. right? Bet you they bleed. And if you're going to worry about not stepping on an ant or whatever, then the nigger, you should probably try to tame or something, because he's going bonkers in your land right now with your birthright, right? And some of them are very willing to be tamed under the guidance and tutelage of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, because the pamphlet is for the sake of humanity, as he is a prophet and the servant is worthy of his hire. You can receive this pamphlet at expense. The reason these lessons have not been known is because the Muslims of India, Egypt, and Palestine had these secrets and kept them back from the outside world. And when the time appointed by Allah, they loosened the keys and freed these secrets. And for the first time in ages have these secrets been delivered in the hands of the Muslims of America. All authority and rights of publishing of this pamphlet of 1927 by Noble Drew Ali, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. The industrious acts of the Muslims of Northwest and Southwest Africa. These are the Moabites, Hamathites, Canaanites, who were driven out of the land of Canaan by Joshua and received permission from the pharaohs of Egypt to settle in that portion of Egypt. In later years, they formed themselves kingdoms. These kingdoms are called today Morocco, Algiers, Tunis, Tripoli, etc. That's just the first 2 pages. So make sure you go out there and get yourself Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple, because everything in there is for you. It's your birthright. So it's up to you. If you want it, cool. If you think, oh, it says Quran, it says Allah and whatever, I'm not down with it, then hey, you have a right not to be down with it either. Right? And you keep it moving. Right? So the question comes up, well, if I'm not black and I'm a Moor, like, why a Moor? Why not anything else? Right? 14 Caribbean nations sue European countries for slavery reparations. September 27, 2013. Lawsuits seek reparations from Britain, France, Netherlands, and their roles in Atlantic slave trade. St. Vincent and the Grenadines Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves speaks during the 68th United Nations General Assembly at UN headquarters. 14 Caribbean nations are suing the governments of the United Kingdom, France, and the Netherlands for reparations over what the plaintiffs say is the lingering legacy of the Atlantic slave trade. In a speech Friday at United Nations General Assembly, Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Ralph Gonsalves, said the European nations must pay for their deeds. Quote, the awful legacy of these crimes against humanity. See the theme? Not against these people over here with straight hair and whatever. Humanity. The theme to what's going on right now in the world. A legacy which exists today in our Caribbean. And remember, Caribbean comes from Carib. Caribbean. Right? So, the Caribbean, right, are the indigenous people. Right? So Caribbean is, you know, a people can't be a landmass, so it's not Caribbean. That's a maxim as well. The awful legacy of these crimes against humanity, a legacy which exists today in our Caribbean, ought to be repaired for the development benefit of our Caribbean societies and our peoples, Gonsalves said. The European nations must partner in a focused, especial way with us to execute this repairing. The lawsuits, which are likely to amount to a lengthy battle, are being brought by the Caribbean Community, or CARICOM, a regional organization that focuses mostly on issues as economic integration. They will be brought to the UN's International Court of Justice based on The Hague in the Netherlands. It is not immediately clear when court proceedings will begin. Now, let's just consider something. They're suing Britain, France, Netherlands. And then they're going to the International Court, which is based in The Hague, which is in the Netherlands. Right? Clearly that's conflict of interest. Like, off the bat, conflict of interest. We're not going ahead further with any suit. All we're going to do is write up all these people's names, go get their pictures, and we're just going to make YouTube videos and expose these people for the frauds that they are. And that's the suit. Because 14 Caribbean nations suing European countries is a fraud. Because there's no way that the Netherlands corporation, brethrens, called The Hague, is going to let these little backward whatever, they don't even know, they don't even have a birthright, they're calling themselves Caribbean, right? Caribbean nations. That's a fraud. The only nation in the Americas is the Moorish nation, and it's divided into some other Moors called Mexicans. Right? So we don't have to go any further, because like, it's a fraud. Caribbean nations, plaintiff in error. For all those people who say, oh, plaintiff in error doesn't mean that the plaintiff was in error. If the plaintiff doesn't do something correct, the plaintiff is in error. And their error is being 14 Caribbean nations trying to sue European countries. Right? Andy Sullivan and John Whitesides, October 1st, 2013. Up to 1 million federal workers were thrown temporarily out of work on Tuesday as the U.S. government partially shut down for the first time in 17 years in a standoff between President Barack Obama and congressional Republicans over health care reforms. So right now, as we're talking right now, there's no United States right now. There's a republic. And, you know, that's active. We've been active. Right? We've been governmental. We've been issuing nationality cards for people who want to proclaim their nationality and be down with the actual true de jure government of the Americas. You know, and there's little pockets of our government everywhere as Moorish Americans. And you might hear people on the news and all this stuff talk about, you know, they're stealing houses and all these things. All of those things are just intimidation, just to get you not to get on what Noble Drew Ali brought you, which is your birthright back, your nationality, your position that allows you to make a claim like, I want that house. It's just sitting there. It's been sitting there for 30 days and nobody hasn't gone in or out of it. As Aboriginal and Indigenous, if you say that they killed your ancestors and built up everything, doesn't that make that your stuff? Especially if the U.S. government is partially shut down. So all these, you know, so-called Moors that, you know, they're so active and they're, you know, they're doing so much, you know what I mean, to assist the nation or whatever, right? How come you hear no statements coming from any of these heads of these temples about the U.S. government partially shutting down and the fact that Noble Drew Ali called that, right? This is prophecy of Noble Drew Ali fulfilling right now, October 1st. October 1st, 2013. Noble Drew Ali's prophecy has manifested. Right? One day, all the wheels of industry will stop. That's what's happening right now. Even though it already happened in 1933, and this is just a big front. Right? This is all just a big front, because they've been partially shut down since 1933. Why are we falling for the okie doke? As usual, as always. What are you saying, Frank?
All right.
Right? Why are we falling for the okie doke? Right? How the hell is the U.S. government gonna be shut down when they already shut down in 1933? It's a front. Big front. The biggest elephant in the room right now. Nobody's even paying attention.
Talking about it.
The elephant's about to sit on a man, and he's talking about pass a drink.
No one's worried. Everyone's
right?
cool. Everyone's good.
Everybody's chilling. Everybody's chilling. You know what I mean? Like, well, you know, okay, well, we just wait for the we wait for the corporation to start back up, right? Yo, what?
Wait for the corporation to start back.
1 million federal workers were thrown temporarily out of work today.
Federal workers today.
Federal workers today.
In America.
In the U.S. corporation.
Yes, sorry, the U.S. corporation.
The U.S. corporation just fired
Just got rid of 1 million.
1 million workers.
Got rid of 1 million jobs.
Yeah. Well, not really jobs. They freed some slaves, really. Right? Because you can't have so much slaves on the plantation. You can't have so much slaves on the plantation, and you're not feeding them or nothing like that. You know what I mean? All they gotta do is work, and you're taxing them. That's costly. That's costly.
Yeah.
Because just like Drew Ali said in the beginning, the servant is worthy of his hire. Right? Servant's worthy of a hire. Noble Drew Ali made the statement, right? I brought you your nationality, your religion, and title to your vast estate. I brought you your nationality, your religion, and title to your vast estate. Right? Brought all that stuff. Put it there. Right? That's the mandate. Right? And you gave the mandate to the Moors. And then you have adepts who were sellouts, right?
Yeah.
Adepts who were sellouts that actually had the mandate, thought it was this piece of paper is the mandate. Just like somebody said, yeah, this paper is your nationality, so just take this paper. This card is your nationality, right? This paper is the mandate.
So your birth certificate is your
right. When that's not how it runs. It doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? It clearly doesn't work like that. So this man gave the inheritance that he is the grantor, trustor, head of, and he gave it to the Moors. And then there it is. You do whatever you want to do with it, but just know that this is not, something that you can take and, justice, peace, freedom, and mix up the stuff. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Like, that's what it is. You all put justice first and think, more Science Temple of America sign, and then you got, justice, peace, whatever.
There's an order to the...
And then people are coming and you're, party's nice. You know what I'm saying? Right? don't think judgments are coming for that, because all those, because check what's really going on, right? All those so-called Moorish Science Temple of America 501c3 or registered with the corporate state under the guise of getting benefits because they are a religious corporation or organization, whatever. All of them are partly shut down too because they registered with them. So there's a lot of Moorish Science temples right now that don't even exist.
If you were getting money from
those guys,
or,
right? Instead of getting the inheritance from the prophet, you got to go get inheritance from colonizer European, right? Same thing like what the Indians did. Yeah, could we get a card so we don't have to pay taxes? Oh yeah, sure. Here it is.
I don't want your card.
Now we got you.
I don't want your card, so I don't have to pay.
You know what I mean? Right?
You want my cards.
You don't have to pay taxes. Right? So all of them are shut down too.
Okay.
Right? There's only certain jurisdictions of Moorish Science Temple of America right now that are actually
up and running.
Functional. Majority of them, they already sold out to Rome a long time ago because they didn't teach people about the prophet. If they did what they're supposed to do, everybody would know about Noble Drew Ali. They didn't do what they're supposed to do. Right? They dropped the ball. Like the one, like, you know what I mean? Bases loaded, like.
Drop that one.
World Series, Game 7, like, drop the ball.
You drop that one.
Right? Your career's done after that. You can't come back. Right? You know? That's these men's position. Right? And because that's their position, because they decided to side with the freaking bankrupt corporation, the James Traficant came in 1993, right? It is an established fact that the United States federal government has been dissolved. 1933. 1933. Right? Like, we just wanted to put it out there that don't fall for the okie doke. There's no U.S. shutting down, nothing. They've been dissolved since 93. They're fronting.
Yeah. They've been closed.
Man behind the curtain right now. And everybody's looking at the curtain. Oh, look at that curtain. It's moving. The curtain's just moving. Right? You know? Right? Man has like size 15 feet coming out from under the curtain. The man's not seeing nothing going on. Right? Forget about partially shut down. Yo, they've been shut down since 33. There's not nothing new. There's a front again, and they'll be in the news for a little bit or whatever, you know what I mean? And then everybody's talking about, yeah, well, you know, it's the Republicans and whatever. No, it's the Republic that shut them down. Because Moors sending them writs. And because Moors are sending them writs, and you have people like Noble Fonte SL, who's he sending, when he gets a writ, he sends a writ to 1,000 persons in a day. Like 1,000 people get this notice that, you know, this person, here's the picture, you know, same thing we're talking about when we're suing, right? The real suit is put their picture on something, right? Put their name out there and expose them because they've been dissolved since 33. They're obviously running a fraud if they've been dissolved since 33. And in 2013, October 1st, the United States is temporarily shut down right now because, you know, the Obama healthcare, you know, and
that vote messed up the whole, and we can't decide.
You know what I mean? So we have to try to.
We're gonna prorogue the government.
Yeah, right now.
Rest for
right?
a minute.
Everybody's gonna recuse themselves right now, and you guys just keep paying for stuff, and you know what I mean. Don't worry about us over here in the corner. Just chilling with the guy behind the curtain. Just do whatever you do over there, right? Bankrupt and insolvent. nothing to even, because people are going to be on that hard. People are already on that hard.
Yeah.
Most people aren't even on that. They don't know what to do. You just shut down. Oh, you just say, no, United States shut down. Okay. Well, if the government's shut down, then maybe you should start exercising your, since you love UN so much, love the UN declarations that say you have a right to make a claim and start making claims.
Yeah.
How about doing that? You know what I mean? It's like the next one, right? It's time for Canada to merge with the United States.
I heard that the other day too.
Right,
and I was
okay.
like, oh,
right?
Here we go with this stupid
right.
shit again.
But then, the 14 Caribbean nations sued on the 27th.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Right? And then that happened, right? The Canada to merge talk came up.
And that's the thing.
And then now they're saying that they're shut down. So don't be surprised when they drop the merger.
How are you going to merge with someone who's shut down? And the thing is, we don't want to merge. If anything, you want to merge with us. You want to be the next province. But we don't want to be the next state. We do not want to merge with you.
Right? And mainly because we already have our jurisdiction. This is their stuff. Mm-hmm. This is their game that's running it. That we're trying to look over the shoulder like, yo, what's going on over there? Yo, forget what's going on over there. We got a birthright right here.
Yeah, don't worry about over there.
I brought you your nationality, your religion, and title to your vast estate. Oh yeah, and title to your vast estate means mandate. Right? Title to your vast estate means mandate. So he doesn't have to show you a paper, right, to say that he got the mandate to get the land back and all this crap that you hear people talk about when they talk about Moors. Mm-hmm. Just go read Peter Moon's book, Montauk Book of the Dead, European, and let him tell you that Noble Drew Ali bankrupted the United States Corporation in 1933. He actually did it in 1929, 1930, but 33 was when it was official. Everybody knows about it, right? Right? No mergers going on. You can't merge, just like you're saying. It's two bankrupt entities merging. That's just creating more debt. Mm-hmm. Now your debt and my debt together equals more debt. Mm-hmm. What are you going to do with that? Who's going to be doing business with them? Right? Unless the so-called people who are really the government don't take over. Right? Because right now they're openly saying we can't function as a government, corporation, whatever, and ... And who's going to pick up the pen and put in the new script for the new world order? Right? Because they've been bankrupt since 33, been waiting for the Moors to do what they're supposed to do. And the Moors never do what they're supposed to do. They're too busy partying, calling themselves black, Negro, colored, Jamaican, Caribbean nation, suing the European, whatever. You guys, unless you are talking just like our boy, Malachi Zadok L. I'm going to read that part again. So you ask the question, who are the Moors in America? If you are considered Negro, Afro-American, or colored, you can now change your nationality from what you was called all of your life and proudly say, I am a Moor. Right?
We don't want
little keys that they drop to let people know what's really good, but nobody picks up on that. Everybody wants to be Merkaba and wants to make light come from freaking places and snap and make fire and shit. Right?
Sure, you could do that. You could do that, sure.
Right? That's what they want to do, opposed to claim their birthright and then worry about some snap and making fire. Right? The expulsion of the Moors. May 18th, 2013. To this day, the Muslims of the world lament the loss of Andalus, the Arabic name for their Spanish kingdom. Every Muslim knows what a mortal blow the loss of Spain was. Few in the West are aware that even after the fall of Granada, the Spanish were not so easily rid of Islam. On January 2nd, 1492, the Islamic kingdom of Granada was surrendered to the Catholic majesties of Ferdinand and Isabella. After 781 years, Spain was free. However, the capitulation was negotiated. Ferdinand and Isabella did not want a bloodbath of a frontal assault on a fortified city, and so granted generous terms. Muslims who remained in Spain were given religious freedom. They were to be exempt from all taxes for a number of years. No one was permitted to insult a Muslim. Christians were to be punished for laughing at Muslims. Muslims were only to be judged by their own laws. No Christian could ever enter a mosque. The Pope was required to agree to these terms. Right? And just like we said, when you hear Islam and Muslim and all these terms connected to a religion that people have assumed is the origin, connect all those things back to the Moors and leave the religion alone, because Muslims were to be judged by their own laws. And when they say Muslims, they mean Moors, because everybody knows the Moors were the ones that got kicked out of Spain. Ferdinand and Isabella, it's the story of the Moors. Everybody knows that. Right? Even in the midst of defeat and collapse, the Muslims insisted on maintaining some aspects of Islamic supremacy. One also wonders at the mindset of the Muslims that they could insist on such outrageous exemptions. One wonders why Ferdinand and Isabella agreed to these terms at all, or whether they ever had any intention of keeping them. Initially, the Spanish tried persuasion and debate to try to convert the remaining Moors. However, in 1499, the Spanish Archbishop and later Cardinal Cisneros took the more ruthless approach of forced conversions and burned Arabic manuscripts. His brutal methods led to open revolt, which was quickly suppressed. The Spanish then considered the Treaty of Capitulation voided and suspended freedom of religion. In 1500, Cisneros reported, "There is now no one in the city who is not a Christian, and all the mosques are churches." As later events would show, the remaining Moors in Spain would not surrender Islam so easily. These new Christians were called Moriscos, however their conversions, blah blah. And then that's from Mike Conrad, Konrad, Expulsion of the Moors, May 18th, 2013. And then he goes in more and other stuff, but you don't even go research that. Go read that instead of going and watching World Star stupidness. Go look up Mike Conrad, Konrad, The Expulsion of the Moors, and let whoever Mike Conrad is tell you about your history that you don't know. Right? From tolerance to intolerance. From the 16th century, the employment of Africans became increasingly common in England. Wealthy and not so wealthy people in the kingdom might have one or two black servants, footmen, or musicians. Whether these retainers were enslaved or free is often unclear in the documents. Right? However, however, don't worry about the records. There were certainly also free black people in a variety of occupations. Queen Elizabeth I, like James IV, employed black musicians. The Queen also had a black maidservant. An open letter about Negroes, black scapegoats. But while Elizabeth may have enjoyed being entertained by black people, in the 1590s she also issued proclamations against them. In 1596, she wrote to Lord Mayors of major cities noting that there were a late divers blackamoors brought into this realm, of which kind of people there are already here too many. She ordered that those kind of people should be sent forth of the land. Right? That's the Queen. And not send black people anywhere. Not send Africans anywhere. Send the blackamoors. Because we don't have to convince our people. Right? We don't have to convince them. Because it's there. If they want it, it's right here for you. Noble Drawley said he brought it for you. Put it down on the table. If you don't want to pick it up, then don't pick it up. But I suggest you pick it up because birth certificate is shut down right now. Social insurance, SIN card and all that, shut down right now. Health card shut down right now. License shut down right now. Everything's shut down right now. But don't worry, it's been shut down since 1933 and you've been getting punked for 80 years, getting punked. Getting punked by a Euro, just like the show. You have these black guys go on the show to get punked by this.
Yeah, Kutcher out there.
Right? This guy. Right?
Trust me.
Now, let's get some visuals going on, because you've been reading a lot. Right? Right? So, Star Trek, right? Star Trek episode, right?
Like back in the day, Star Trek.
Yeah, like back in the day, Star Trek, what people used to watch, right? And then you had the Goldmans, right, with the feathers up. Okay, so Star Trek said they've been telling people, right, telling people about the Moors, right?
People ain't paying attention.
And nobody paying attention. Everybody's, oh yeah, Star Trek's a nice show. It's interesting, right? And back then we didn't have this knowledge. It passed us, right? It passed us. But what do they say? History repeats itself. This is the past, having relevance in the future, which is that circle. Which is history repeats itself. Right? This came back up. When's the last time this was shown? When's the last time somebody actually seen this on a screen? You know what I mean? Right?
Star Trek.
Star Trek.
Star Trek does some stuff.
Yeah, they go hard still. They went hard. Right? Stan, Laurel, and Oliver Hardy, Sons of the Desert.
Yeah, Laurel and Hardy.
Yeah, right? Been telling people, letting them know, Sons of the Desert, even letting them know that they're sons.
I know, it's a
Muslim sons. Like, that's what they are. They're sons. Right? They were taught. Right? You're taught. No convincing them. They know what's up, right? Ben Hur potentate.
Interesting names.
Yeah, very interesting names, right? This is what Malachi York, when he said Noble Drew Ali was a Mason, this is what he meant. Noble Drew Ali is one of these. No, Noble Drew is not one of these. Right? This is a fraternity, yes. But Noble Drew Ali wasn't one of these. And don't even try to put him in the category of these. Just try to put these people in the category of him.
Just because they put a fez on or something, right?
Just because they put a fez on,
don't get confused.
And they have a cigar, don't be confused, right? You know, and they're just posing. And just, take a picture with me. And this man will put a fez on, take a picture, and then this is the picture. You know, freaking 100-year-ago picture of a guy just in a fez. He's not part of nothing. Just took a picture, and you know, what are you gonna do? You're gonna put the fez on, right? Dorsey Ace McShane, right? Ace.
Okay, Ace.
Right? And word is that she's the one that put Doctor Who onto the fezzes. Because Ace is like a secondary character in the Doctor Who. And she put him on it. Right? For all the sisters who wrap their fezzes out there, you know, right? They're letting you know. You know what I mean? Letting you know. This one was interesting. Right? Another place that we have to go to and remember that not only when you see Muslim or Muslim or Islam or Allah or Quran or whatever, get those people who look like Saudi Arabians and Egyptians today or whatever out your mind. That's not their stuff. When you hear all that stuff, think Moors. Immediately in your mind, think Moors. Do not think an Arab is pale. Right? Like an Arab looking is like really us. Yeah.
Looking like Assad,
you know? Right? Thanks to Islam and Arab civilization, right? So thanks to Islam and Arab civilization. And again, once you hear Islam, Arab, whatever, talk about the Moors. Don't worry about the code words that they're trying to put on, you know, fool you into giving up your birthright, because that's Arab stuff. Well, those are, I don't want nothing to do with Arabs. No, you want everything to do with Arabs, because that's your birthright. Thanks to Islam and Arab civilization, Arabic has become the richest of all Semito-Hamitic languages and one of the world's greatest languages in history. As a major language of scripture and civilization, Arabic has deeply influenced several world languages both in the East and the West, such as Persian, Turkish, Urdu, Hindi, Spanish, Portuguese, Maltese, Malay Indonesian, some African languages like Hausa and Swahili, and to a lesser extent, even the English language. The Arabic alphabet, which contains 28 letters, 2 more letters than the English alphabet, is now, like the Latin alphabet, one of the most widely used alphabetic writing systems in the world, used in the writings of languages of Muslim countries like Iran, Pakistan, and Afghanistan. The profound impact of Arabs and their civilization on Western civilization, which is really Eastern civilization, not even really Eastern, it's kind of Central civilization, right? Because Western civilization is the North Gate and the Moroccan Empire. That's really Western civilization. And who they say, just like when we were talking last week with the KKK and them using certain symbols and trying to claim your birthright through your symbols. Right? Okay. The West is really us. Right? The West is really the Moors. And the East is really the Moors. And the North is the Moors. Right? And that's what it is. You know? And in that there's little variations of, you know, skin tone and hair texture and nose size and you know what I mean? But it comes down to it's all us. The profound impact of the Arabs and their civilization on Western civilization can be found in many Arabic words that became part of the everyday language in the West. While it is obvious that the influence of Arabic is much greater on Spanish and Portuguese, both of which contain many thousands of Arabic words, than any other European language, at least some 4% of the English language comes from Arabic. The following is a group of words from several scientific and cultural areas presented in alphabetical order used today in English that originally came from Arabic. Abba, ABA, Abel Mosque, Abolition, Abolion, Achernar, Akrab, Admiral, Aldebaran, Alembic, Alfalfa, Algebra, Algorithm, Assassin, Artichoke, Arsenal, Apricot, Average, Barberry, Benzoin, Buckram, Cable, Calabash, Caravan, Cipher, Coffee, Cotton, Dragoman, Elixir, Emir, Gabel, Guitar, Hazard, Jar, Lemon, Mattress, Mummy, Orange, Pistachio, Racket, Retina, Ribs, Rice, Rob, Safari, Satin, Sequin, Serendipity, Sesame. It goes on and on. And that was Dr. Abdullah Mohammed Sindhi. So Abdullah, Abdullah, Mohammed, Mohammad, Sindhi, Sindi. He has like all these writings on stuff like that. Stuff like that. Right. The brass head from Benin, West Africa, dates from the mid to late 16th century. When each Oba or king died, he had a shrine made in his memory. Brass heads like this were placed on the shrine alongside ivory tusks and other metal and wooden objects. All the objects in Oba's palace in Benin were looted and removed by British naval expedition in 1898. The king was sent into exile and the British took over. Benin artifacts, collectively called Benin bronzes, are now displayed in museums around the world. Right? So West Africa.
Mm-hmm. Note the headdress.
Note the headdress. Right? Just note the headdress. Okay. Moors in Italy.
Mm.
Okay.
Turban up.
They're just the Moorish statues of Italy, or Moorish Italy, or not Moors in or whatever, right? Connect Moors to it, like it's connected to the Moors, and watch how much stuff comes up. You're not gonna get stuff and say the Moors in Italy. All they're gonna do is show you flatlands, right? The Moors in Germany, flatlands. Like, oh, why they showing all just flatlands for everything about the Moors? Because, right? Everything is Moorish, Moorish. Moor has something to do with everything. That's why Moorish. Yeah, I am a Moor, but we're Moorish American. Because there's Mexican Moorish American, and Cuban Moorish American, and Brazilian Moorish American, right? And we have to be specific to the ones that we are, right? So don't forget, right? Keep this guy right here in mind, right? Keep this guy. Yeah, keep that guy in mind, okay? Remember, this is Italy, right? Moorish statues. And we don't have to convince them. We have to convince our people, right? Everybody knows.
Everyone else knows what's up.
Aleister Crowley, right?
Oh, this guy.
Everybody knows Aleister Crowley, right? But he has the pose though, right? Because why? Because just like we talk about, this is verified proof, right? This is verified proof that, because you already know that he was a so-called occultist, Satanist or whatever, right? But he always used to dress up in Egyptian stuff, right? But he's wearing Egyptian things right here, but he's doing a Moorish mudra. He's doing a Moorish mudra wearing Egyptian clothes. Basically telling you
what's up.
The same thing that George G.M. James told you, that there's no such thing as goddamn Kemet and Egypt. That fell and the Moors were in control of it, and the Moors are the only ones that's been in control of the so-called African whatever culture from ancient times. The only individuals who have it are the Moors. Because the Moors inherited the Egyptian Kemetic culture when Kemet fell and was taken over by Ptolemy and all these Europeans that went up in there and made their own pharaohs. Right?
Pharaohs are
they were in dead land. They were in land with tombs. You go live in the cemetery. How are you gonna go live in the cemetery? Right? That's the concept that we have to look at it. Our kingdom fell. Then these people come and they live in our kingdom that fell. Don't forget, the Moors already took it and they're already gone with whatever was left over.
Worth taking.
So they're there with nothing. And they're there with nothing, and there's little stuff on the wall, and okay, well, you take some of that. They might find some books in some tombs or whatever like that they're raiding, But really, they went to go live on the cemetery. Our cemetery, our ancient cemetery. No different than right now when they're tobogganing down the Iroquois burial mound.
Yeah, exactly.
They're no different. Exact same thing. They do what they do. Right? But they're not confused about who they did that to. They're not confused about what they inherited. They know what they inherited. Problem is that our people don't know what they inherited. Right? And that's the only reason that they're inherited, and they could come out and say, yeah, US is shut down right now, so you guys just chill until we decide what we're gonna do.
Just watching cartoons, we'll be back.
Yeah, we'll be back.
Commercial break. Commercial break. We'll be back.
Right? Commercial break. We need a commercial break right now. You know what I mean? Pull the plug on this operation. And all the workers just in the dark place, just, you know what happened? Everybody leaving? And we gotta wait for the lights to come back on?
Yeah.
Or we gotta get some candles up or something, right? Moorish statue in Cordoba. Okay, this one's kind of dark still, but you could tell that he's turbaned up, right? Because that's how the Moors do. Fezzes and turbans, you know. And there's just, when you go, Moorish statues of Cordoba. And then you just get pictures of stuff. You know what I mean? And don't just do the top.
Don't just
20
click the
pictures.
first.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Go down, scroll through a good 100 pictures.
Yeah, yeah.
You know? 200 pictures. And then after those ones, then you're going to start seeing some stuff. Right? Moor's Head, Switzerland. You know? So just like when, you know, whatever, they have Scotiabank Carnival is coming.
Yeah.
And they put a thing on a flagpole. You know what I mean? Scotiabank and whatever.
Carnival.
Right? Okay, and then they just have that there. It's the exact same thing that they're doing. Just hang a Moor. Yeah, we just hang a Moor's head in the street, right? In Switzerland, right? And don't forget, this goes back to Netherlands and The Hague, and these so-called Caribbean people talking about they're gonna sue somebody when they have Moors heads hanging in Switzerland, right? Moors heads, not African heads, not black Muslim heads, Moors heads.
Not black Muslim heads.
Right?
Moors heads.
Moors heads, right? Now, where's our friend again?
Oh, Mr.
Right?
Crowley.
Remember, right? Always wearing Egyptian stuff, right? Always wearing Egyptian stuff. But he's doing Moorish mudra, pose, right? Saying the same thing that George G.M. James said, that the Moors are the custodians of Egyptian culture, right? Now, why is he had this book right here with a big 5-point star right side up? Right? Why did he take the picture with the book? Because this is the occult book. The book's really this. Right? That's really the book. Because
when he took the picture.
Yeah, right? Because the book has this on one side and this on the other side. This way. Right? But he put the book upside down in the picture.
To have it look like.
To have it look like the Moorish star. That everybody knows is the Moorish star. This is Aleister Crowley. So-called occultist.
Yeah. Like the devil guy.
The devil guy.
You know what I mean?
Right?
The dark side. Like
telling you that your stuff is the devil to make you run from it.
So you can just go and take it up.
So he can just go take it up and do whatever in his bankrupt state, because he can't do anything else. So he's gonna have to find some way to keep himself busy. being bankrupt. And the best thing that he could do is pretend to be the Moors. If we pretend to be the Moors, then we're not bankrupt. If we pretend to be the Moors, we have a nationality, a religion, and a vast estate, a title to a vast estate. That these people called Negro, Black, Colored, African American, Canadian, whatever, don't even know exists. Because we got them to accept the slave brands, shadow brands that cast them as undesirable. Right? And don't forget to go read Divine Warning by Noble Jwali, all you new people, because that's going to reveal some things that already manifested to you, and that's about to manifest if you don't take heed to what he's saying. And it's real. It's not even a joke. Like, it's real. Right? It's real. Prophecy manifested in 33 that all wheels of industry will stop. Right?
And your government goes bankrupt.
And government goes bankrupt and went bankrupt. That happened already.
That's the end of your wheels.
Prophecy already manifested. But okay, you don't want to believe? Cool. Right? In the future now. In the future, 2013, August 1st, U.S. shutdown. Prophecy again. Prophecy manifested twice now. Right? Prophecy manifested twice. And Noble Jwali is not considered. He's not considered. And prophecy manifested twice. And many other things manifested. Right? More with Emerald Cluster by Balthazar Permasar. Balthasar. Last name Permoser. Balthazar Permasar.
That's what I use that name in Assumptions.
Right. And it's a more with Emerald Cluster. There's 6,000 or something like that. And I think this was when I did Moorish. I think when I did Moorish Denmark, this came up.
Okay.
Because everything's Moorish, and Europeans know. Right? They're very clear. Black Moro, also known as Black Murray, is the name given to a bandit who, according to tradition, was killed by McClellan near Kirkcudbright in Galloway, Scotland. There are several different versions of the story in which the slain bandit is variously described as a gypsy, which is an Egyptian, a Moor. Right? Of course, right? The stories may be explanations for the Moor's head that appears on the crest of the arms of Lord Kirkcudbright, and in consequence, the modern crest badge used by Clan McClellan. Right? So, come to find out that it's a real thing when you hear these Europeans, the sovereign Europeans, talking about of the whatever clan, of the whatever family, right? That's actually something that they took from their culture in Europe, right? And brought over here in their so-called exercising of sovereignty in the Americas, where they don't have jurisdiction. But when you ask them what their nationality is, they're going to say, I'm free man on the land. I'm God's son. I'm a child of God, of the whatever clan. Okay, but whatever clan comes from Europe. The concept of clan or of the family, and then the name of the family. How the sovereign European guys talk and never ever say their nationality. Right? The fact that they do the whole child of God and whatever, in the documents that they're sending to court, whatever, there has to be a name on there of who is putting this thing in. Right? So this is validity. This is proof that what those sovereign Europeans do, hillbilly sovereigns, what they're doing is actually their common law European practices when they were under the jurisdiction of the Moors in Europe, because there are several different versions of the story in which the slain bandit is variously described as a gypsy, a Moor, and the one that I left out, Irish. Right? And we're going to look at Irish and think that Irish are European redheads, drinkers or whatever. No. Right? The stories may be explanations for the Moor's head that appears on the crest badge used by Clan MacLellan, the blazon for which is a naked arm supporting on the point of a sword a Moor's head. The name Black Moro is assumed to derive from the term blackamoor, referring to the Moors of North Africa and Spain. Right? As the date of the incident is not specified, in the earlier surviving accounts it is not possible to know whether this implies that Black Moro was actually a Moor, or whether the name was intended to refer to his swarthy skin or barbarous reputation, perhaps analogous to Black Douglas. Some accounts refer to him as Irish and others as a gypsy. Some writers in 19th century attempted to use the story as evidence of native racial diversity in Britain. David McRitchie argued that Black Moro was probably a gypsy, but claimed that the gypsies were not immigrants, but ancient Britons from a primeval dark-skinned race. Right? And there's their little crest. Their little clan crest. Right? Think on. With the sword going through the bottom of the Moor's head and coming out the top of the Moor's head. Right? Meaning that the eye of the pyramid is separated from the body. And they have possession of it. And they're shut down right now. So we're not going to proclaim your nationality right now. Right? They stepped away. Right? Who knows? They could be flying out right now. You could wake up tomorrow and CNN just ABC. Right?
It was very odd to just put the government on, or put your so-called government on hold.
We're gonna. It's very odd. Just mysteriously over some Obama healthcare. What's Obama healthcare have to do with you guys
shutting down the
whole thing?
The thing that's supposed to run the country.
Right. Okay, right. French Victorian bronze figure of Moorish man holding pitchers. 6,500.
Hmm.
Right. And these are the ones that you just do Moorish figurines, Moorish artifacts, Moorish whatever. Just put Moorish next to anything and just look it up and see what you get.
And people are paying $6,000 for this.
$6,000 for that. And they'll pay $6,000.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because they know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They know what it is. Right? So we're going to go again because this is going to be a repetitive theme. This is going to be a repetitive theme for like maybe the rest of all classes that we do. Right?
Mm-hmm.
James Trafficant and the bankruptcy speech.
Mm-hmm.
Because the more we put it out there, the more it will be in the videos. Because this is what is going on right now. Right? It's like if we look at it like the dominoes falling. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And in 1933 somebody did
yeah.
Right?
Domino, so
and it's just a continual, every time you hear them, every time something's going on that, oh my gosh, you have to, always stops it.
Do I really?
I think they're doing that to steal the Moors' birthright. Everything that goes on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, I think they're doing that to steal the Moors' birthright. You know, they just started up the thing with the license.
Wow.
Where you don't have to go in to renew anymore.
No.
You could do it all online.
Okay, great.
Right?
Why?
Because if you
my
do
money
it
from my home.
if you do it online, you don't have to sign.
And they don't want you to sign.
Right? They don't want you reserving your rights. UCC 1-103, 1-308 on those contracts. So they're getting people now do everything online. Right? Which also validates that it's Moors time now. Right? Like it's time right now. And not it doesn't have to be any 80 million more march. Let's all you know what I mean? Like no. Wherever you're at, if you say that, hey, I'm not Negro, black, colored, I'm Moorish American, I recognize Noble Drew Ali, the prophet, you know what I mean, whatever. All right, immediately start canvassing, right? And get yourself a nucleus of people, preferably 7 people to start, right? And establish something in your free national name. And just make sure that you attach Noble Drew Ali to it, because once you attach Noble Drew Ali to it, then that takes you back to 1913. And you might not have powers of a Moorish Science Temple. You might not have powers of a Moorish Holy Temple of Science. You might not have powers of Great Seal or Clock of Destiny or whatever. You might not have that power. But the difference between you, who has Noble Drew Ali up front and starting something, and the individual who's just starting something but using everything that Noble Drew Ali brought but not mentioning Noble Drew Ali's name, saying that he's a Mason and You know what I mean? You know, don't you really follow that guy because, you know, he really didn't know what was going on. I really know what's going on and all that. You know what I mean?
No, right? Noble didn't know what he did.
Right? No, he didn't know. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Right? But we have to be clear that wherever you are, right? Wherever that you are, and you are saying that I could get a space, or I have classes going on. We have the black organization of the whatever having classes today at the school university, room 404. Better scratch black off that, put Moorish, because if once you say black, you're saying you're part of this dissolved corporation that shut down again in 2013, right? And remember, it was 33, right? When they did the bankruptcy, and then remember it's 93 that Trafficant came out, and then remember it's 2013.
All these threes
going on, right? And what's the three? The three is the pyramid with three 120-degree angles, which is 360, which is circle 7, which is your great seal, which is why the triangle is in a circle, and when you flip it upside down, it's a 7 in a circle. Right? All our stuff that they already know. That's why they're using it, and if we don't want to do anything with it, cool. They'll just go nuts. Right? 1993. Right? 1993. Trafficant. Came with the talks. 1993.
And what was his job in America? Or he was
he
wasn't in the government. He was
Speaker Representative of Ohio.
So he's in
he's in it.
Same people are supposed to pay him a paycheck that he works for.
Yeah. He basically said, I'm not taking checks from you guys no more. I'll risk everything because I believe in the law of the land. And I believe in government not being tyrannical and treasonous. You know what I mean? And he put his life on the line. You know,
put them on blast.
But just like we're saying, right? With Brother Fontes, right? With sending out the writs. You know, by you putting them on blast, that's the suit, right? He was calling people's names and all that. So as soon as if something drastic happened to him, you already know who did it. You know what I mean? The guy he's been calling out in the past 50 speeches that he did. You know what I mean? That never has a rebuttal. Never comes out and says, hey, you know what? What that guy said was wrong.
It was not true.
You know what I'm saying? It's not true or whatever. They never come out. You know what I mean? Because if they come out, they're like admitting guilt, kind of. Right? So they have to just shut up. And then send somebody else to go, go deal with that guy. You know? And then they got their boy to trump up some charges. You know what I mean? They got the judge on their side or whatever. Bam, gave him 9 years for some foolishness. You know what I mean? And came out and we just start
back to the same old.
Start flapping our gums again because what are you gonna do to me? You know what I mean? What are you gonna do to me?
What are you gonna? Yeah.
Kill me? Great. You know what I mean? Great. But I'm exposing you guys. So you came out, right? 93.
And they put him in jail, man.
And all these. This is news. This is what Black History Month. You guys want reparations or whatever? How about you talk about this speech right here and the fact that they've been using you to make reparations for them to give other people. And then say that they can't give black people reparations, but everybody else can get reparations who came after them as, you know, slaves or whatever. Right? And this man's telling people since 1993, and he's talking about something in 33. Right?
The government's been dissolved.
And Noble Ali said before 1933 that he brought you your title to your vast estate. Where you get that from? You know what I mean? You don't just get a title to a vast estate.
Well, whose vast estate?
You don't just get a title to a vast estate. You know what I mean? That's inherited. That's passed down. Right?
Vast estate.
You know, it is an established. No, Mr. Speaker, we are here now in Chapter 11. Members of Congress are official trustees presiding over the greatest reorganization of any bankrupt entity in world history, the U.S. government, which shut down today, August 1st, 2013. Right? We are setting forth, hopefully, a blueprint for our future. There are some that say it's a coroner's report that will lead to our demise. It is an established fact that the United States federal government has been dissolved by the Emergency Banking Act, March 9th, 1933. 48 Statute 1, Public Law 89 to 719. Declared by President Roosevelt being bankrupt and insolvent. HJR 192, 73rd Congress, M Session, June 5th, 1933. So just like James Traficant did, right? President Roosevelt in the 73rd Congress, right, put it on the record that they're bankrupt and insolvent, right?
Insolvent.
House Joint Resolution 192, 73rd Congress, M Session, June 5th, 1933. Joint resolution to suspend the gold standard and abrogate the gold clause dissolved the sovereign authority of the United States and the official capacities of all United States governmental offices, officers, and departments, and is further evidence that the United States federal government exists today in name only. Right? In 93 he's telling people they exist in name only, they're dissolved, bankrupt, and insolvent. All we have to do is claim our estate. Because there's no that's like Sister Empress Shah, right? Had court today.
Okay.
Right? She has a case like
a crazy case.
Yo. Right?
Huge case.
Okay. Goes to court today or whatever. You know. And they try to kidnap her.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, they were just messing around in court. She's like, yo, whatever, you guys, out of here. Left. Right? Left the court.
Yeah, left the court.
Just left.
Yeah.
Right?
In the middle of the talks.
Yeah, right? They chased her down. Right? Handcuffs open, like, you know what I mean?
Come here.
You know what I'm saying?
We're gonna get you.
We're gonna get you, right? And all she did was stand in her square. Didn't show no nationality card. Didn't show papers.
Really?
Right?
Really?
She's like, and they ran out to tell her in a forceful tone, come back to the court or we're going to issue a bench warrant. That was them telling her in code, because it was sheriffs that came out or something, deputies or something.
Okay.
Right? So they're running out in code to tell her, since she sent all the documents to the court, everybody's read, the whole court has read her documents or whatever. Right? That's just how it's going to go, just because. You know, the Moor is not going to send something to a court and the whole court is not circled around this paper that just came in the mail from somebody who says that they're a Moor. They analyze that stuff, right? So they're coming now to tell her that they're trying to ex parte your case, right? Right? Because, right? It's like when the Moors were getting followed around the court, right? Out here, right? Moors getting followed around, you know what I mean? And the Moors are mad. Why these guys taking phones? Yeah, this is like discrimination. You know what I mean? I have a right to be here. Why are you following? Like,
chill, hold on.
They're escorting you. They're your security for the day.
They can't
They're your public servant.
Can't let nothing bad happen.
You know what I'm saying?
They can't all the slipping on the side.
No slipping down the stairs, none of that in our private box called a court, because we don't want no lawsuit from you. We're protecting ourselves, right? Ex parte, on one side only, by or for one party, done for, in behalf of, or on the application of one party only, right? So when she left the court, right, she basically said, I'm abandoning. Not on the grounds of I did anything wrong or whatever, but you guys are a fraud, because I've been coming here for like a year and all you guys do is call me, threaten to arrest me, to do this, and just coming back here you guys, I'm out of here. right? So these mans ran out to tell her in code, right? Because they have to make it look good, so they have to pull out the stuff, because, you know, it's court, everybody's looking or whatever, you know, you can't just walk up to her.
Same time he's like,
you know, this is really right.
Go back.
Right.
Really, you're just like free. You can just leave right now.
Ex parte, right? In its primary sense, ex parte as applied to an application in a judicial proceeding means that it was made by a person who is not a party to the proceeding, but who has an interest in the matter, which entitles him to make the application.
Okay.
Right? So, being that the name that they have on the court document is all capital letters artificial person, the public defender or the district attorney or the prosecutor and the attorney, right, have power of attorney over that. So they can make an application to the judge, Your Honor, because Emperor Shah just walked out, and we still have the artificial name here, we move that the court ex parte this case. And then the judge will say, well, you know, if he's lawful, he's going to say, well, she put her status on the record, and you guys didn't answer any of her writs. And she filed a default judgment with the court because he didn't answer the writs. So this is dismissed or whatever, if he's lawful, right? But what would happen is the judge will say, the court grants your motion, and then they go ahead with the case, because in a judicial proceeding means that it may be made, the application may be made by a person who is not party to the proceeding. Right? So the judge is not party to the proceeding, he's neutral. Right? So how is he making a decision on a motion that, one, they didn't file? This is just out of his mouth. Oh yeah, we move for the court to do this, and then the judge is saying, okay, yeah, sure, you guys do whatever, because that again goes back to the conflict of interest, right? There's the obvious conflict of interest.
Obvious conflict.
But the conflict of interest is not based on, they're colored and they are violating people's rights or whatever, because they're bankrupt. They're non-entity.
They're bankrupt.
They're a non-entity. They're not. They're not even
real.
fake. They're not even colored. They're non-entity, right? Let's go ahead a little bit on this right here. The Federal Reserve System is based on the canon law and the principles of sovereignty protected in the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. In fact, the international bankers used a canon law trust as their model, adding stock and naming it a joint stock trust. So canon law, right? We're saying that there's Federal Reserve was on a canon law.
Canon law, yeah.
All right. Because if they're saying stuff,
and I don't know if everyone knows what the canon law.
yeah.
If you understand that this was based on this.
Right. I'm not finding it. Actually, I'll check that. Let me finish reading this. The U.S. Congress had passed a law making it illegal for any legal person to duplicate a joint stock trust. The Federal Reserve Act was legislated post facto to 1870, although post facto laws are strictly forbidden by the Constitution. The Federal Reserve System is a sovereign power structure separate and distinct from the federal United States government. The Federal Reserve is a maritime lender and/or insurance underwriter to the federal United States, operating exclusively under Admiralty maritime law. The lender or underwriter bears the risk, and the maritime law compelling specific performance in paying the interest or premiums are the same. Assets of the debtor can also be hypothecated, which is to pledge something as a security without taking possession of it. Assets of the debtor can also be hypothecated as security by the lender or underwriter. The Federal Reserve Act stipulated that the interest on the debt was to be paid in gold. There is no stipulation in the Federal Reserve Act for ever paying the principal. Prior to 1913, most Americans owned clear allodial title to property, free and clear of any liens or mortgages until the Federal Reserve Act. Is there?
No. Where is it? Canon, law, rule.
All right.
You got a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Over here it says something about Book of Jacob's only.
All right. So canon. A dignitary of the English Church. A dignitary of the English Church being a prebendary or member of a cathedral chapter. All members of chapters except deans are now entitled canons in England. A law, rule. A law, rule, or ordinance in general and of the church in particular. An ecclesiastical law or statute. A rule of doctrine or discipline. The term is generally applied to designate the ordinances of councils and decrees of popes. Right? So he's telling that it's Rome still, basically. Basically what he's saying is
Federal Reserve's based on
it's Rome still.
On their
right? Their structure. Facile on the on the money and 13 this and 13 that and all that, right? They're papal practices, right? So if the international bankers use a trust model from the popes, right? In order to create the Federal Reserve system, right? That's not backed by anything or whatever like that, right?
It has no one to answer to.
It has nobody. They have nobody to answer to because it has nothing to do with the U.S. government. The only way that it's connected to the U.S. government is that the Federal Reserve is a maritime lender or maritime insurance underwriter of the federal United States. Right? Assets of the debtor can also be hypothecated as security by the lender or underwriter. Right? And hypothecated again to pledge something as a security without taking possession of it. So they hypothecated the Moorish Empire because they use it as, sit in front of Moroccan flags and all that, and give the world the appearance that yes, we are the actual people, but
they don't own it.
They're not. They don't have the possession of it. They don't have it in their possession. It's not theirs, right? But if it's just sitting there, then it's free reign, right? And that's been the status of the U.S. since 33, because the democracy is not the federal government. The democracy is a separate jurisdiction that's just sitting there, right? And the people who created the democracy jurisdiction are pushing the democracy jurisdiction under the guise of the de jure republic, right? But just like Moorish Science Temple of America, if Noble Drew Ali said this pamphlet's free, and you go to Moorish Science Temple and they're telling you $50 for a Circle 7, obviously they're not Moorish Science Temple of America. Obviously they're bankrupt and insolvent because they went down with this ship in 33. That's why keep putting it out there, right? That Moorish Science Temple of America, right, is a religious corporation, organization, whatever, that active Moors use. But it's also a trap for dirty Moors who wanted to try to own what Noble Drew Ali brought. Because as a prophet, he already knew that they're going to take his thing and go register it to seek benefits from the corporate state. It's all right, cool, go ahead. But that's going down when the ship goes down. And the ship's going to go down in 4 years, 5 years or whatever. So you guys are going to get to play around, have your millions, balling, kicking money and all this type of stuff. But when that's worth zero, we'll see where you're at then. Right? We'll see where you're at then. Right? And we're going to close out today with the adepts in the Eastern esoteric tradition, Manly P. Hall. Part 4, the mystics of Islam. Right? See what Manly P. Hall has to say about the mystics of Islam. You know how these guys get down. We don't have to convince them of anything. Right? They know what's up. They do not need convincing. Like, not at all. None whatsoever. Page 45. Okay, let me just do something first, because we're making a point here that everybody knows what's up. Right? Okay. 101 questionnaire. Question 16. How did the Prophet begin to uplift the Moorish Americans? By teaching them to be themselves. Right? Chapter 17. What is our religion? Islamism. 18. Is that a new or is that an old-time religion? Old-time religion. Right? So this is Manly P. Hall. Because Islamism, right, is a strict monotheistic faith, it emphasizes the need for saints or intermediaries between God and man. This is the same situation that led to the Buddhist veneration for arhats or illuminated teachers. Godfrey Higgins refers to a secret doctrine taught by Pythagoras, Jesus, and Muhammad. Always and everywhere, such a doctrine is associated with the concepts of a hierarchy of initiates, teachers, advanced beyond the state of ordinary mortals. These are not divine beings in any sense of the word, or Islam would not and could not have accepted them. Rather, they are sanctified mortals who have attained a divine insight through faithful observance of the esoteric principles of their orders, and who have become vigilant guardians over the spiritual destinies of uninitiated mortals. In his work, Islam in the World, Dr. Zaki Ali summarizes the scientific, ethical, and educational achievements of Islamic civilization with specific reference to the state of Spain under Muslim rule. He points out that in the 10th century, the population of the city of Cordova was computed at about 1 million. At this time, under the Moors, Cordova had 50 hospitals, 900 public baths, 800 schools, 600 mosques, and a library of 600,000 volumes, in addition to 70 private libraries. The same author gives a description, or let's just boost ourselves a little more with that one. At this time under the Moors, right? At this time under the Moors, at this time under your rule, right? Under your rule in Spain, right? In Cordova.
In one city.
In one city of 1 million people.
1 million people.
One city.
And they like to say like in 1000 AD or 10,000 AD.
Yeah.
There was only maybe 1 million people, 2 million people. Like,
Right.
They like tell you that
but
shit.
they're gonna say
But
in
this one city had
Cordova,
1 million people.
in Cordova,
But in
just a
the
little
Earth,
while
there was
ago,
only like maybe 2 million people, right?
Yeah.
Come fuck.
Right. At this time under the Moors, Cordova had 50 hospitals, 600 mosques, 900 public baths, 800 schools. I bet you none of those were Afrocentric schools. Not one of them. Not a black school. None of them.
Not one.
Not one. Right? A library of 600,000 volumes, in addition to 70 private libraries. Right? I'm not gonna go no more, because you already know what it is, right? One person you're gonna look up. Akbar the Great. All right, we're at 9 o'clock. We're just going to touch this quote. W. King writes, again, the greatest of all Mohammedan sovereigns, the Mughal Akbar, was a true Sufi. Equally so was his prime minister and historian, Abdul Farez. So do your research on Mughal Akbar. Moghul Akbar, Emperor of Hindustan, 1542 to 1605. Akbar the Great. And don't be scared when they start talking about the Hindustani Moors, not the Hindustani Indian people, or right?
Well, I have a friend of mine and his family, their last name is Akbar.
Yeah.
But they're Muslim from India.
Yeah.
They're not the Hindus or the Hindus from India or Hindustan.
Right. Right. So everybody knows about your birthright, right? Everybody. Stone people that don't move, they just sit there. They know about your birthright and they're exercising because they know that the United States is bankrupt since 33. So make a claim, right? Everybody knows, right? Tupac telling you, right? Moore's head, and you had a big head. You had a big head. So the real Moore's head, right? Told you, right? But you know, you're a thug rapper and whatever. Rose grew from concrete and all that, right? No, they're like Moors. No secret, right? No secret. So just consider that Noble Drew Ali came and he did all this work just for you, Negro, black, colored, to be free. If you want it, hey, enjoy your birthright. If you don't want it, because just wait till the news when they get back running again. You better have a nationality, because when they come out of this one,
when they get back up and
right, when they come out of this one, look for people to start disappearing that you know, for real, right? For real. Look for people start disappearing.
Some Pimp C shit.
Right?
Just disappear.
Man, just disappear. Right? Where's Tizo at? Man, just disappear. Turn invisible. Right? So, don't forget, Moorish Heritage and History School coming up on Blog Talk. Right? Today's book was The Adepts by Manly P. Hall. It's a good read. You want to pick that up. And don't forget, if you know any Nuwapians, call them out. You get the Nuwapian Moors newsletter, because that was their public record, you know, that they used to put out and stuff like that, you know, and then they had it on the long sheets. It wasn't on the square paper, so you know that they were dealing with law, right? And if they tell you, you know, just like Noble Drew Ali said, you know, the pamphlet's free. They tell you pay money and all this type of stuff for 101 questionnaire, Holy Quran, Moorish literature, and all that. Just turn around and walk the other direction. You know what I mean? Or go online and check it out. Right? So all you new Moors out there, don't be intimidated. You know what I mean? Some of us are willing to take blows. You know what I'm saying? For the nation. You know, so honors to all the Moors out there who's suffered, you know what I mean, and get locked up and whatever, just to be a martyr, you know. But it's not in vain, because we're showing the people that all these people that are suffering, right, they're not suffering because they did something wrong. They're suffering to intimidate you. Remember that. Remember that. that whenever you see in the news Moor got locked up or Moor got whatever, something happened to a Moor because they tried to claim something or they tried to do something, and they come at you with the handcuffs open, just remember that they're doing that to intimidate people watching. They're not doing that because you're wrong. You know what I mean? So don't lose courage, don't lose fight because they're pressing up on you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? They're pressing up on you to see if you're gonna press back, and if you don't press back, then they're gonna eat you. Just like that picture with the statue with the man holding the baby head. Just they're gonna eat you because that's how they do.
It's crazy.
So we're gonna close out Moors. We want to say Islam to all the Moors that were online. You already know that, you know what I mean, we appreciate you and your energy and, you know what I mean, all the comments and all the building that goes on in the chat, right? So Moors, stay steady. Passive Moors, you know what I mean, get active ASAP. You know what I mean? Religious Moors, get active because you got religious rights that you can use. You know what I mean? If you want to get a little further info on that, you can talk to brothers like Jelani Bey. You can talk to brothers like Great Seal. You can talk to brothers like Grand Sheik Nature, El Bey, right? Because there is a religious perspective as well as a national perspective that could be utilized for our freedom. You know what I mean? So active Moors, passive Moors, make sure you get active. Dirty Moors, we love you too. And you got some soap. Got some soap on sale. Plantain soap. From Dirty Moors. You got that natural soap. You know what I mean? No soap scum and all that. 5 on the left, 2 on the right. Allah, the Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, through His holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Islam. Islam. Yeah, Moors. Honors to all Moors. Stay strong, yo. We got this. Islam.